Wow. Wow. And you said, did you get that loaded, Mike? I can't remember if you got it loaded or not. You loaded that right up, right? For what do they have? Let's see, 20, 17, 15, 12, 10, and 6, right? Is that fully loaded?
And tunes it, or when he assembles the wire for that one, he puts it to the resonant frequency that you asked for. And I asked for 7150 because I usually operate around this frequency here. But
Hey, Greg, how's it going?
I'm not sure what question you're asking me. You asked me if I got it loaded. Is that what you're asking? Over?
Yeah, Mike. I was curious if you got it with all the bands on it. Did you order it with, well, you have to put them on it. I know that. But did you order it covering all the bands available? Or did you order it? I've often wondered about 6 meters K1GMM. Geez, I don't know if I ID'd in a while. I've been torn over what to do if I rebuild it. I'm actually thinking about rebuilding the hex as a mini hex because I have a 20 meter delta loop array up right now, switchable going northeast, southwest. It's a phased array, and that beats the hex hands down. But I really want something for 17, 15, and 10. So I'm actually thinking about rebuilding it, but building it only with like 17, 15, and 10 on it. And it would be substantially smaller. And I think the survivability in these 100 plus mile an hour winds we get in the valley here in the wintertime would make it, in case I have a brain out and I forget to drop it, well, I think it might survive a little bit better. Over.
Yeah, well, both of them. This is W4OCO.
What's up, Glenn?
The
Florian, how's it going?
KO is 6 through 20 meters.
It's just rag chewing with Mike down in Virginia.
From Ant is 6 through 40 meters. So both of them are loaded with all the bands. And believe it or not, it's not a bad performer on 6 meters. I mean, it really isn't. Surprisingly, it works okay. I don't do a lot of 6 meter stuff. My amp will even work 6 meters that I have here. But and it'll run a kilowatt on 6. But I haven't operated 6 much. I see on your I see I'm checking your page out. I think I looked at it last time. But anyway, it is loaded and it does play well. And I like 20 meters, man. If I was going to do one, I would do 6 through 20. I mean, it's not that much more trouble. And that way, I've had a lot of fun on 17 and 12 meters. 12 meters is a great band when it's open. But as you know now, Steve, the bands are terrible. I mean, they just suck right now. And I was hoping for a better cycle, this next cycle. But the way they're talking, it's going to be... I'm not even sure it's going to be as good as this one.
Glenn, you crack me up, dude.
I was looking here at our contacts. I've worked you on FT8 a couple of times also. See where I worked you. I worked you on 160 meters, man. That's a good one. We aren't that far apart, less than 500 miles. I get some winds here. That's one thing I liked about Ants. If you look at the pictures, that extreme weather kit that he offers, what happens is it has a bracket that goes on the center pole, and then you have a fiberglass spreader that goes down and hooks to the element. You go up 32 inches on the center pole, and there's a bracket, and then you have a piece of fiberglass that comes down and attaches to each element out almost right at the 15 meter or 17 meter element, so you got some support there. My KIO has been through some 85 mile an hour winds here without issues at 40, 50 mile an hour here. So I'm 5 black spots from the water 10 feet above sea level, and this windy as crap. K1GMM, W4OCO.
W4OCO, K1GMM. Yeah, Mike. You know, the issue with me is, and boy, I'll tell you what, before I go any further, that OCF, because you got that up so high, that thing cranks, dude. I was looking at the pan adapter a little, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, and you're the strongest signal on the band to my QTH. So I wouldn't be messing with that anytime soon on 40. It's working really well. And I am on the 40-meter loops, the Delta loop, the parasitics, going southwest right now. What was that? There was another thing you touched on, the 160. That's where I remember you from. Yes, not 160, but I know we've worked FT8, and I that's a call I cannot forget. So 160. Well. Yeah, we cover so many things. I'm going to try and touch on every single one of them. The hex beam, the survivability I'm referring to is, see, I don't have a tower. So I need to, when we get winds like that, we get winds easily pushing 100, oftentimes well over 100 miles an hour in the valley. Here, I live in the narrowest point between the Taconic mountain ranges and the Appalachians. And the valley floor is only about a quarter mile wide, and the peak on my west side, I'm at 600 feet in elevation on the valley floor. The peak on my west side is just shy of 4,000 feet, and that's NVIS, and it comes right up off my back doorstep. Literally, I step off my step and it starts going up. And then within about 100 yards, it goes straight up. And then across the street is Baker Peak, and that's NVIS, but that gives me, I do have a little window to work some DX, although it's about 15 degrees of elevation I need, going towards Europe, so that works out okay. But the wind just gets, it's a vortex, and it gets compressed as it comes into this valley, and it accelerates, and it's literally like a jet engine, the way it sounds coming up through the valley. And so the antenna itself I had up was fine. It's when the supporting structure came down and it hit the ground from about 30 feet. That's when things got broken. So, and I'm too cheap to put up a tower. I'm the cheapest guy you'd ever meet, Mike. 160, I'm going to be putting that L back up, but I'm not sure how I'm going to configure it. That was on the 160 meter quarter wave inverted L. And that was a revelation to me. It's not an NVIS antenna at all, but I think the first contact was, I believe it was the first or second contact I had was on 5 watts on FTA into Italy on that thing, on 160, and I got my QSL cards done, and a bunch of them are going out later this afternoon. A guy in Oregon, and I was able to work New Mexico on phone during some, I can't remember what event it was. Great antenna. Uses a folded counterpoise by Steve Ellington. Steve Ellington came up with it, I think. At least that's where I got the idea from. W4OCO, K1GMM.
Oh, very good. Okay. Well, sounds like you got, like you said, when the wind hits the valley where you at, it just picks up. I bet you have some cold winters up there. It gets chilly here, but not too awful bad. Well, I'm really impressed with the hex beam. I love FT8 too. I mean, an idiot could operate it. It doesn't take any skill, but it's fun, especially when the bands are so crappy, and they've been crappy a lot.
Glenn, we'll work each other. We just got to wait for the bands to come back, man.
FTDX 3000 set up with an RSP1A little converter box that I use on my digital modes and also CW sometimes. And this rig is the same rig we've worked with before on the other band. It's an Apache means that you need to look at the install on what I've got up here. I put a post in the ground, 4x4 post, and I should have done 6x6, but I didn't. And I fabricated some brackets. So what I did is I got some shelf brackets, and I had a guy here at a machine shop to use a CNC machine and cut me 2 back plates and 2 base plates. So what I did was I put a GSO 65 thrust bearing on the top, and I made a rotor shelf on the bottom, and I'm using a Yaesu 800 series rotor, and I'm rotating the whole mast. I have it guide in 3 places. I'm at 42 feet to the bottom, and 3 sets of guides of 3 sets of free guides on it, and I've had no problem. I mean, it's held up. I'm using Kelvin for the guides, and I've had no problems. It's been up 3 years. I had one of the Force C3S antennas up before that with the short and 20-meter element on it, and it was good, but the hex beam outperforms it. It had a screwy set up for 17 meters. It shot off the backside of the beam. Now, how that worked, I don't know, but for 12 and 17, if you were pointed north, it fired south for those 2 bands, which is always screwy to me. But the other beam that's going up will be above the trees. It's up toward my house, which is about 60 or 70 feet higher elevation, and will be above all the trees here with no obstructions. This antenna is underneath 3 big, huge pine trees. I've got a 160 meter quarter wave sloper on one side of it, and the dipole on the other side, and it does interact because of the closeness, and it does affect it somewhat. But that'll be gone, and it should play much better when I get it up on. I ordered 45 feet of new 25 Ron G tower and put that up. I looked for some used stuff, and everybody wanted, $60, $70 a section, and I bought new stuff for a little over $100. So, except for the top section with the thrust bearing, I spent a bunch of money on it. But the rest of it was very reasonable. But this deal that I got set up now plays great. Back to you, K1GMM, W4OCO.
Now, which band are you talking? Multiple bands, or which band were you saying you worked all those countries there, Mike, on FT8 in like a week or two? Was that 160?
I worked a bunch on 160, but it was mixed band. It wasn't all 160. I don't know how many I've got on each band, but part of it was 160.
Okay, yeah. And what antenna were you running on 160? Just out of curiosity, K1GMM, how high are you? Do you live in a pretty good spot? Are you up kind of on a hill somewhere? And what have you found on 160 that works really well for you?
Well, what I'm using on 160 is just a quarter wave sloper. My shack is in a building away from the house. It's not in our house. We're in a cottage that's small here that was built way back in the 30s. So I'm on a 55 foot lot by 160 foot deep. And I built a shack in a garage building on the back side that we have. I have a small shack about probably about 8 by 7 or something like that. But this antenna works great. I wish I could have gone to a half wave or a full wave, but I just don't have the real estate. But it plays great on 160, man. I got it from I bought it from Stan Jones, and I'm trying to remember Stan's call. But I bought it off of eBay for about $60 or $65 3 years ago, and I can't say anything but kind words and good things about it. Well, it sounds good here in West Virginia.
I heard that West Virginia station. Go ahead and pick it up there. Boy, you guys are close. Go ahead, Mike. I don't know if you heard that station. You must hear him in West Virginia because he can hear you. You must be booming into him. Station West Virginia, if you can hear me, this is K1GMM Steve up here north of Manchester, Vermont. Go ahead and grab it and pick it up with Mike there. K1GMM.
Okay, I keep with you there. I apologize. I said anywhere from an S7 to an S5 here in the southern part of West Virginia there.
Okay, are you barking at me there, station in West Virginia? You're referring to me, or are you referring to Mike? Go ahead.
As well, both of you about the same signal strength here into southern West Virginia. Name here is Mark. Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. Hey, Mark, what was your call? This is W4OCO. I missed it. Okay, I'm sorry. I got a bad habit of just rolling it out there too quick. It is Alpha Delta 8 Delta Juliet 88 DJ. I think you and I have worked. This is Mike in Virginia Beach. Other station is Steve's. He's up in Vermont. But anyway, band's crappy as usual. But good copy here at the oceanfront of Virginia Beach. Yeah, real good. We did, Mike. I apologize for that. You gave me some repeaters with the tones out there, so when I made it out there on vacation, I could talk a little bit there on 2 meters. I lost you. I'm sorry. I said you gave me some repeater frequencies out there at Virginia Beach when I make it out that way.
Could you hear him? Mark said that you gave him some repeater frequencies and stuff and helped him out when he was in Virginia Beach there. Over.
Oh, I knew. I recognized. No, I can't hear him. Stephen. I've got something screwy going on here with my dad, Jim. Thetis that I'm running. I had a Windows update this morning, and evidently something's changed. And when I drop back to receive, the receive's not coming back up for some reason. But anyway, I know what to do to make it work. But no, I couldn't copy him last time. Over. Okay, real good. Anyways, you guys go ahead and pick it up. Or I was just letting you know I was tuning around and heard you. And for the way the band is, you sound great out here in the southern part of West Virginia. You guys go ahead and pick it back up there. And thanks for letting me get in there for a minute. 88 DJ.
88 DJ Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Mark, great to hear you, man. Have a great day. Boy, the bands are cack. They have been such cack lately. Little pockets I've noticed of propagation. Like, what was it, 2 nights ago? It was late, though. Boy, Europe was banging in here. Band was wide open, but it seems to go dead during the day. I was listening. The only signal I saw on the entire screen was E-Cars on 255 yesterday. That was it. Literally not even a blip on the pan adapter. It's just total cack. Anyways, Mark, have a good day. I just looked at the clock. I got to get out of here. So, Mike, and you're about a 5'7", 5'5" to 5'7" coming in. Mark and Mike, you are down to about a 5'5", 5'7" as well. It's just the band is shifting around. So I have to get my daughter out of here in about 20 minutes. I have someone coming to pick her up. She's still in her jammies, so I got to run upstairs. Good to hear you, Mike. I'll catch you later, dude. Go ahead and leave you with it and see if you can pick up maybe some stronger signals. Great to hear you. And hope you have a great day there. W4OCO, K1GMM.
All right, very good, Steve. Well, great to work you again. We'll listen for you and pick this back up. You too, Mark. Mark, you were 5 and 5 to make this legal, but band's awful bad. We'll catch both y'all guys later. 88 DJ with K1GMM, W4OCO. Good morning.
Good morning, fellas. K1GMM. Okay, guys, I got to get out of here. I will catch you later. I figured I'd just pop a stream up quick. Um, Good to see a few of you in here. Maybe back later. I'm kind of playing radio. I got to do some 20 meter antenna work today. My antenna is defunct. Something's wrong out there, so I have to drop it down. I think a center pin came off of one of the feed lines on the relay, so it's kind of intermittent. So I got to go straighten that out. Catch you later, 7-3 guys on the stream. Northern Dawn, Glenn, Florian, and 9 Alpha 3, man. Have a good one. Greg, I'll catch you on the system, buddy.